Hey guys, welcome back to my astrology channel. Today we're going to talk about Sun in Scorpio in the 8th house. So this is an Aries ascendant and we got Sun in the 8th house in Scorpio. So for that, we need to understand the characteristics of Sun, of Scorpio, who owns Scorpio, and also the 8th house itself. So let's talk about this. What are the characteristics of Sun? All right. Sun is fame. Sun is power. Sun is status. Sun is father. Sun is kingdom. He's the king of the kingdom. Sun represents your ego, also your confidence. Could be overconfidence. Sun represents power, represents your looks. It also represents your soul. That's the one of the biggest things I would say for me. The sun represents your soul. So when you see sun in any house of your chart, most of the time you'll know that your soul finds the most happiness, the most contentment in that house of your life, basically. So let's talk about here what's house 8. House 8 is depth. House 8 is secrets, it's research, it's astrology, it's occult sciences, it's could be manufacturing, it could be surgery, those kind of fields. House 8 is also sudden gain and sudden loss. Okay, when you see lottery tickets, when you see inheritance, when you see sudden loss of wealth, all those things can be seen from house 8. House 8 is also longevity. People call it the house of death, but you can actually tell longevity from house 8. House 8 is also kind of like going into depth of anything. So secret things that are happening in your life. So that's house 8. Now let's talk about Scorpio. Who is the Lord of Scorpio? Mars is the Lord of Scorpio. So we're going to look at the relationship between Mars and Sun in the house 8. So is Mars friends with Sun? Yes, Mars is friends with Sun. So when Sun is here in house 8, even though it's not its happiest in house 8 because Sun rises in the east and your house 1 is the east direction and then it sets in the west. So house 7 is the direction it's setting. House 4 is north. So in this particular combination, house 10 is south. So this is a southwest-ish kind of location for the sun. So sun doesn't really want to be here. I mean, sun likes to shine, but this is where sun gives you the power to go into depth of anything, to do the most research. So when you see in any horoscope, you got sun in house 8, you'll see that person being very big into research. They're going to go to the depths of something to get the information out. So say they got interested in a subject and they want to know more about it. They're going to keep going until their soul feels that it's good now, that it knows everything that it wanted to know about it and it's good. So that's how you'll see sun, because sun is going to illuminate that house 8. Wherever sun goes, it illuminates that house. It's going to illuminate it. By that I mean that even though house 8 is considered patal lok, so I wouldn't know how I would say that in English. So when there's heaven, there's hell, is what people say. Patal, I don't really want to call it hell or anything like that, but I would say it's like depth, of something. So when sun is going in there, it's illuminating that so you can go into the depth and research more and more of what you want to research. So it's not a bad placement, I would say, in my opinion. You could get famous in researching something and bringing it to light, right? So that's something that could happen for you. House 8, I forgot to mention, is also your in-laws, because house 7, if that's your partner, then house 8 is the family of your partner. Because if you are house 1 and house 2 is your family, then house 7, the house next to it, is going to be the family of your partner. So that's also your in-laws. So you may have somebody famous in your in-laws, because sun is the fame also, status, power. Your in-laws may be powerful. Your status might rise after you get connected with them. Perhaps after you get married to your partner, your status may rise. You may see an increase in your fame, in your status. So that's Sun in 8th house for you. Now let's talk about, and keep in mind, keep in the ego check always. Whichever house your Sun is, keep a check on your ego in that house. So your in-laws may have a higher ego in this case, or you may have an ego issue with your in-laws when you're talking to them. So if you're having issues with your in-laws in this placement, check that ego, check the way you speak with them and things. And if you have Sun here, maybe your soul finds the most contentment with your in-laws. Maybe you have that most amazing relationship with them. And also, or maybe your soul finds the most contentment researching things. You could be a doctor. You could be a surgeon. If you're a surgeon, your soul finds the most contentment going into the depth of finding out what's wrong with that patient. Maybe manufacturing, maybe astrology, maybe all these things. You want to go right into the depth and get all that information out to the surface. That's what you want to do. So let's talk about the aspect of the Sun. So Sun is placing its 7th aspect on house 2, which is your family, which is your speech, which is your wealth. And the ruler of that, or the lord of that, is Lord Venus. It's planet Venus. Now, Venus is not friends with Sun. So Sun is giving that drishti, that aspect, to house 2. It's not going to give it such a great aspect because it's aspecting its enemy's house. So you may have an issue in generating wealth, or you may find some not so good ways to generate wealth. It may take you a longer time to generate wealth than the way you want to, okay? You may start to generate wealth way after your 40s, maybe way closer to your 50s, 60s, It may take a long time for you to get there. Maybe your relationship with your immediate family is not as good. Maybe that might take you a long time to improve those relationships. See, I never say that there's never in astrology or in your horoscopes or in your life. I just feel like if you work hard at something, you can achieve it. That's my thought process. So even when planets are saying that, hey, this is not a good combination, yeah, it's probably not a good combination until you understand how to make it a good combination, right? Because initially, it won't be a good combination. So your chart is not going to lie to you. So you're not going to have a good relationship with your family at some point in your life. You're not going to be able to generate wealth on your own at some point in your life. You are going to have issues with the way you're talking, because house 2 is speech also. It's also mouth, the way you take in food. So you may have issues with your eating habits at some point in your life. Also with the way you're talking to people, especially your family in this case, at some point in your life. However, once you know those things, you can improve upon those things. You can do something in your life where you find the most contentment for your soul related to house 8, okay? And then also see where everything else is being placed in your chart, where who owns house 8, who's the lord of house 8. Say you don't have this in Scorpio, say you have it in Capricorn, say you have it in Gemini, then you have to also look at those lords. Where are they placed? How are they connected to your work homes, your higher income houses? And then you can figure out exactly what you need to go into to work where you're gonna shine, where you're gonna be so happy. And then eventually, you increase, or you make those relationships better with your family, with your siblings. Say house 3 is affected with something, you make those relationships better, right? So I hope this was a good video for you. I hope it was helpful. And we do personal consultations, as I always say. Reach out to us with the link in the video description, fill out the form, and we'll get back to you. Our consultations are going to be focused on how to make you be happy in your life, how to live a happy life. Because at the end of the day, I feel that you want to be happy in your life. Yes, material gains and all that stuff is there too. But what's the use of material gains if you're not happy, right? So in our consultations, we'll talk about the material gains also. We'll talk about how you can get to that higher income also based on wherever your stars and wherever your planets are placed, in whatever houses they're placed. But we'll also talk about what's going to make you happy in your life. So reach out to us. We'd love to help you. And please share this video with people that you think might find it beneficial, because they may be going through things in their life, and this video could kind of give them an idea on why what's happening to them is happening to them. They may watch other videos on the channel, and that could help them out too. So don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button for us, please, and also to hit the bell icon, because we post videos very regularly, so we don't want you to miss out on any of the new videos. Thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you soon.